working for you. A weekly talk radio program which highlights developments of national interest and the activities of your St. Kitts Nevis government. Join host Roy Williams as he presents news, views, reports, and interviews about everything regarding the activities of the Team Unity government and the building of our communities and the development of St. Kitts Nevis. Tune in and call in to interact with your government and share your views regarding the upward forward development of your community and our beautiful Twin Island Federation. Working for you is weekly, every Wednesday live from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. on ZIZ Radio, Win FM, and Sugar City FM with rebroadcast on participating stations. Working for you.
Good afternoon and welcome to Working for You, the weekly radio and television program where the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, those living at home and those in the diaspora, can be informed about what is happening in the government. Today, I am very pleased to have with me the Acting Labour Commissioner, Ms. Shernel James, who will report to us on the work of the Department of Labour, some of the issues and so on with respect to workers, and basically what is the importance of the Department of Labour. Ms. James, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
And it's certainly a pleasure having you. And I know that today we are going to have a very exciting program, something that is at the heart of what we all do, and that is work. And given my theological and philosophical background, work for me is more than just that of an economic purpose. Work has a deeper meaning. Work somehow contributes to the dignity and so on of human beings. And I will begin by quoting Pope John Paul II. He wrote an encyclical on work, which he called Laborem Exercens. And in it, he said, work is a good thing for man and woman. A good thing for his and her humanity. Because through work, the human person not only transforms nature, adapting it to his own needs, but he also achieves fulfillment as a human being, and indeed, in a sense, becomes more a human being. And so we are going to look at work today from many different angles. The social aspect of work, the economic aspect of work, and so on. Ms. James, you are a veteran in the Department of Labour. You are now the Acting Labour Commissioner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On your new position. I want you to tell us how long you have been in this position and what do you bring to the office of the Labour Commissioner in terms of your qualifications and experience.
I have been appointed as the Acting Labour Commissioner as of the 1st of March 2016. I have 30 years of experience in the Department of Labour. I came in as a clerk and worked my way through the ranks, and is today the Acting Labour Commissioner. But I also have experience in the background in terms of sociology and history. Those are the 2 degrees in which I have procured while working within the Department of Labour.
Sure. Okay, now sociology of course deals a lot with the workings of society and groups in society and so on. So you have a good understanding of how society works, functionalism, and all, Emile Durkheim and all of this sort of thing. Tell us about the work of the Department of Labour. What is really the work of the Department of Labor?
The work of the Labor Department is enshrined in what we call labor administration. Labor administration basically is the public activities in regards to labor, labor legislation, and labor policy. And it is carried out through a system whereby it is the Department of Labor. And we also work in collaboration with our social partners, the employer's representative, and the workers' representative.
Sure. Okay. Now, what about the history of the Department of Labor? What is its history?
The Labor Department came out of the bowels of unrest. During the 1930s, there was a number of social, economic unrest going out towards within the Caribbean.
Yes.
We know of one such, our own Buckley's Rise in 1935.
It started here, I think.
Yes. And based upon all of the unrest that was going through the Caribbean, the British colonial government sent out a team led by Lord Moyne, who
The Moyne Commission.
proceeded to investigate, starting with Jamaica in the north, coming right down to Trinidad in the south. And based upon it, he presented a report, which is the Moyne report. And out of that report, it established a number of social and economic issues, but one of the important recommendations was the establishment of the Labor Commissioner. That was in the 1940s. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, the 1940s, which we saw the Labor Commissioner Ordinance. And we saw another very important piece of legislation, which is the Factories Ordinance, which is now the Factories Act. In 1966, June 18 to be exact, the government of the day passed what was called the Labor Ordinance, which replaced the Labor Act, the Labor Commissioner Act. And from then we had the establishment of the Department of Labor and the appointment of a Labor Commissioner, whose job is to ensure that workers' rights are protected, but ensure also that employers' rights are protected as well. And we work as the middle ground whereby we seek to create harmony in the workplace.
So the power of the Labor Commissioner and the Labor officers is one of more mediation. Is that what it is? What is the power of the Labor Commissioner?
The Labor Commissioner has the right to ensure that every complaint that comes before the Department of Labor is settled, and to exercise all power vested in him or her under the Labor Act.
Right.
And also is the appointment of the chief, what is called the Chief Labor Inspector, and the appointment of labor inspectors / officers. We are responsible to ensuring that the workplace is safe and healthy and that decent work prevails. Decent work means that a worker is given all that is necessary to ensure that he receives the maximum benefits derived to him from doing a day's work or carrying out some sort of work.
Sure. Now, your role is one of more mediating, advising, recommending. You do labor inspection and social inspection.
Yes, we do.
Could you tell us a little bit about what are labor inspection and social inspection?
The labor inspection, what we'll call, it's an occupational safety and health inspection. We go into the workplace to ensure that there are no violation in terms of safety and health. The social inspection deals with the social aspect of the worker, his terms and condition of work, his numeration, and all those that is necessary in terms of benefits, etc., that is due to the worker. So we carry out social inspection, we look at the books, we ensure that the employer does not violate any provision of any of the Labor Act. And so
Sure.
We look for numeration in terms of if the employer is paying the worker above the minimum wage or at the minimum wage level, to ensure that all activities in regards to his or her benefits are carried out. His social security is paid, and so we work with the social security department when we carried out these types of inspection to ensure that holistically that the workers' rights are not enshrined, are not denied.
Right. So basically, you're looking more at economic rights and social rights
Of the worker,
of the worker,
as well as their safety and their health.
their safety and their health. Now, in your labor inspection and social inspection, what are some of the things that you have encountered, or your department, the officers in your department, have encountered?
Well, with regards to some social inspection, when we carried out, we will realize that one, an employer would be paying a worker below the minimum wage, which we advise them immediately to cease
Sure.
and to pay in accordance with the Act, and to pay all outstanding wages that were denied to that worker based on being paid below the minimum wage. When it regards to occupational safety and health inspection, we ensure that there's machines that are guarded, the quality of the air, their proper exits that are either illuminated, there the amount of bathroom facilities. These are the things that we will look at some of the things that we will look at when we carry out
Sure.
inspections.
Do you come across in your labor inspection a large number of workers who are working in an irregular situation? By that I mean that, they are not legally abiding by the labor laws of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Most of our older establishments do adhere to the provisions of the laws. We'll find infraction basically on new companies coming into St. Kitts and Nevis, which will want to superimpose their laws coming from whatever country they're coming from. And so therefore we meet with them and be sure that these are the laws that govern St. Kitts and Nevis that are supreme to us. Your law doesn't.
Right, and that is the Labor Act.
We have several pieces of legislation. They're not codified in one particular document called a labor code, but there are several. We have what is called the Labor Act, which looks to the powers and appointment of the labor commissioner. We have
That's in 1966 that came into.
Act.
Right.
And we have what we would call in the Department of Labor the Bible Act, which is the Protection of Employment Act that came into being in 1986.
Yes.
We have the Protection of Wages Act. We also have the Minimum Wage Act, which sets out how the minimum wage is established
Sure.
by way of a committee, and under that piece of legislation uniquely is hours of work, which basically outlined that a work day is 8 hours a day, a work week is 40 hours, overtime to be paid
Sure.
in respect to time and a half or double time.
Sure.
We also have other bits and bits of legislation like Young People and Women Employment Act. We also have Migrant Workers Act. We also have the Labor Union Act, which tells about how a union is formed and established and regulated.
Now, sure.
We also have the Factories Act, which we utilize in terms of occupational safety and health.
Okay. We talk about rights and responsibilities of workers. What does your department do in terms of educating the workforce in terms of their rights and responsibilities? Because some workers may not be aware of what their rights are and what their responsibilities are. I mean, rights correlate with responsibilities. Sometimes people speak about, oh, this is my right,
not
but they
the-
don't realize that they have also a corresponding responsibility to that right.
Yes. We exercise a number of public relation tools. For example, I have with me a number of brochures which we have produced over the years telling you how to maintain your job,
Sure.
the employment, protection of employment, protection of wages. We also have a short guide for employees on occupational safety and health, one for the employers. We have on holiday with pay, what is the role and the function of the Labor Department, and many
Oh,
more.
you've walked with them.
We also
That's quite good.
have a Facebook page. We are attached to the government web page.
Yes.
We also have a 5-minute radio program aired on ZIZ on Mondays and rebroadcast on Thursdays. And we do talks in school. We do, if an employer so invites us in to speak to his staff on maintaining their jobs and what are their rights and responsibility. We have a public education program with the school and with employers.
Sure. Now, all
At this point in time, the Department of Labor is assisting the Department of Social Services. Right now we are doing an 8-week training program for the clients of the MENDA program, whereby we are teaching them on how to prepare themselves for the world of work.
Yes. I think that is so necessary, preparing one for the world of work. Because what we are seeing in workplaces is that you have workers being employed, and then you realize that they basically have no work ethic. They're late, they're always on their cell phones, they're always on social media. They're supposed to be doing work. They never say when they're leaving the office, and all of that sort of thing. And sometimes you really wonder if they understand the world of work. Employment skills, social skills in the workplace, office decorum, and that sort of thing. How you speak to people. All of these things are so important, I think, in the work environment, and yet sometimes workers do not understand that.
We do find that we do have a problem with that. That is why we work with the schools and the colleges. We have a program with CFPC. Once a year we'll go in and we will assist them in helping the students prepare for the world of work. We want to approach this program in the schools, in the high schools. But you know that it is kind of ticklish getting it off the ground because of the fifth formers are preparing for examinations, and so we'll have to look at it in approaching it from first form,
Sure.
come up so that it is a continuous learning program. We do it with national skills, and we were doing it with PEP. Once they're being trained, we go in, we speak with them, and we help them prepare for the world of work.
Sure. Now, St. Kitts, the demography of St. Kitts is changing. The demographics. Today in St. Kitts, you can say that we have an increasing immigrant population. People from different countries, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, or some people refer to as Santo Domingo, which is basically the capital. We have other persons from other islands who are coming here, and they are seeking employment. Of course, it's a right for people to travel and to go places where they can find greener pastures. Now, what is done really in terms of these immigrants coming into the country to help them in terms of finding work, and not only finding work, but to make sure that they have the proper documents and so on for work?
We in the Department of Labor, we operate an employment service operation. We work in collaboration with national security. Before you can register with us, you must produce the necessary documentation in terms of residency. Because when it comes to work permit, a work permit is done by the employer prior to the arrival of the worker coming to St. Kitts and Nevis. And so once you are a resident of St. Kitts and Nevis, you come into the department and you have the right to work, and you come into the Department of Labor like everyone else. We will assist you in finding employment, but you must have the necessary papers. With regards to persons coming into St. Kitts and working, you can do it two ways: through a CSME, CARICOM's CSME skill certificate,
Yes.
and two, by a work permit. As I said, the work permit has to be procured before your arrival, and this is by the employer. The employer must present to the Ministry of National Security the necessary skill sets, which we do not have. And so they have to advertise with the Department of Labor, and they have to advertise as well through newspaper that they're opening for a particular job and the skill sets necessary. And if after that time no one apply for the job, then that worker, they can proceed with the necessary steps towards getting someone elsewhere to fill that position. But it must be a specialized and skilled. It should not be work that Kittitians and Nevis can do.